So I had hit the sauna yesterday, and I came out of this bitch feeling good, feeling poppy, as one would say, and was nothing but fuckery. It was nothing but fuckery on the first part of the. I guess I changed up the agenda, and I guess that's my fault. I tried to do the real PTSD here, the one turn, one wine, one turn, one time, all them turns. That was not happening, cause nothing. That was not happening. I did about three of those. Got a little bit better as it went. Just sticking to the shorter just sticking to the shorter drill. I think there's a time and place for that one. Um, I don't know. I do like not going fast at the beginning of practice because I think that if I just do full throws, I get into it. I get it going pretty fast, and I end up exhausting myself instead of trying to focus on executing back a good technique. And I was mostly disappointed for the good part of this practice. For the majority of this practice, started getting in my own head because my body felt good. My body was feeling good, so I was thinking I'm going to send them. I'm about to send them down, but that's not what happened, and that's just not how the cookie crumbled for the most part there. For at least the first beginning little chunk of this practice, and I have to take some blame for that, maybe possibly because I'm trying to change up the agenda here. But toward the end here, ended up putting some pretty decent ones together. So can't complain about that. Sometimes it takes you going through the dark to get through the light. And especially when it's going bad, I started getting in my own head, asking questions. What are you doing? What's going on here? What planet am I on? You know, all the existentials, the existence of life's questions that pop into your head when things aren't going good. And I try not to let myself get down to that rabbit hole, because the rabbit hole it's a pointless rabbit hole right there, old son. It's not where your brain needs to be. You just got to reel it back in and focus on the technique, because I don't have answers to those questions, and I won't know the answers to those damn questions anytime soon. I kind of have I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I don't know a lot of things. So you start to think about it, and why do you come out here? Why do you do this or whatever? It's like what if I don't have an answer to all that? I like to do this for the good and the bad. I have to remind myself that I'll do this just with you, and you're not truly faithful if you're only there when it's going to go good. So that's just what that is. You kind of got to be here for the good and the bad. That's part of the game of life, and that's part of the game of throwing this ball. So the throws started getting a little bit better toward the end here. I don't know. I think it felt like I wasn't lining it up coming down the entry here. I can feel myself wanting to come up on my toes sometimes, and I'm just like, why am I doing a toe turn? It seems like my body wants to kind of do a toe turn, because that one drill had you do a toe turn, and I kind of eliminated that for the reason that I don't do a toe turn, and I feel my body doing this number, and I feel like that displacement, that me doing this, going up on the toe, isn't effective. Like, I just don't think that it's effective, and I gotta keep that heel down. And actually, my body's like, oh, you toe turning, you heel turning, but I don't like make it be damn mine. You got to do the same thing over and over again in order for you to be able to get it right. So gotta have that kink figured out eventually. It's a weird thing. I kind of got out of pocket here too when I got frustrated. Started to force some things a little bit that you don't need to do that. You just don't need to be doing that, and that one's easier said than done, old son. You end up executing bad technique and not taking good throws. One of the old habits that died hard like a dirty whore. I caught myself, even on the good throws, a little bit of old pulling on the hammer, and I hide it very well. I can tell that I've almost got it out of my system, but and when I went back and looked at some of these throws, that's a little bit of a habit. And in order to throw the ball far, that wire has to be as long as possible in separation of your body, sort of. That's the only way that works. And me not being a big dude, tall dude, that's just the nature of the beast. So and there is a negligible amount of pulling, because you are holding the object, right? At the end of the day, you are holding the object, but it can't be. I'm walking a fine line. I'm walking a really, really fine line when I go back and watch them. When I go back and watch some of these, getting down to the nitty gritty, the technique. You gotta really learn to. I have to really, really learn to relax and not take all the throws so serious, because me feeling good and me feeling like I should be able to throw it pretty far today kind of got me out of pocket, and kind of got me doing some bad habits that I don't need to be doing. So kind of something to think about, keeping the back of my brain, keeping the back of my mind, so without getting, and just not getting frustrated at all. So ended up doing a good amount of fools here before the people showed up here. I think I had a few more throws in me, a few more decent throws in me. Started to get a rhythm, started to get a good little rhythm here. The ball is looking like it's actually, I'm actually wanting to get an orbit on it. Actually want to, you can see the projectile motion that's supposed to happen when you release it. The ball, it was compared to last week, it's looking like it's actually going vertical like I deem it to. I wonder if I'm holding this left side as well as I'm supposed to. Sometimes I think I'm leading it a little bit earlier, but you are supposed to lead the direction with the left side there. So I think that I am being there's a little bit of a lack of discipline with that part of my body slightly. So I'm gonna have to get that little kink worked out. We are also gonna have to. We're going to see about some weights, lifting some. I've said that the last couple, but I haven't really lifted anything. So yes, I'm going to have to lift. That's not necessarily my priority. It's not my main priority right now. I'm kind of just want to keep my body fresh so I can take good throws. That's why I haven't. And normally I would show some weight stuff. See, that one was looking a little bit better. So I haven't shown any weight stuff, and I think I will get to it, but I'm not so pressed for it right now, because I know that I know I'll eventually work it in there. So overall, like I said, I started off disappointed, but it ended up coming together. I mean, you got to stick in there. And I know it's hard to do sometimes, but you got to stick. You got to hang in there and see what happens before, especially on a pretty decent day where the weather's good. You can't say that the weather was crappy, and you got to take her for what she is, and see what you can get out of it. That's pretty much all you can do, right? And get the best out of it that you can. So I'm actually getting some pretty good sleep these days. I think that's helping with the recovery piece too. The sleep and nutrition. I haven't eaten at a restaurant in weeks. Pretty much hamburger patties and variations of the hamburger patties. So the diet has been exquisite. I can make some slappers. You've seen some of this. If you stuck around, you've seen some of the sandwiches. Had a burger tonight. Pretty good nutrition. Getting my steps in. So things. I beat myself up and I get frustrated with myself, but because it's not perfect and it's not where it's exactly supposed to be. I mean, there's fucking holes in my throwing shoes right now, and I'm still taking reps. So don't make excuses about you can't do this or you can't do that. No, there's fucking holes in. I have 2 pairs of throwing shoes. There's fucking holes in both of them, and we still taking some tosses. I'll be able to get me some throwing shoes here sooner than later, when the budget works itself out. But we're a little bit of a we'll get there. We'll get there. So hey, I got what I got. I'm using what I got and making the best out of it. And what the fuck else can you do? So, but that's just about all I got. You should already know what the deal is. Run on your toes, keep your mouth closed, lock your doors, and save your throws. Most importantly, you live to fight another day. I'm gonna get out of here, guys.